Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Happy
Have you noticed that like now she
holidays.
feels like she has to like one up her last musical?
I know, and the
performance
best part
each
is
week.
I should be part of a musical.
My voice is so much better.
You're
I
just
mean,
so much more
no, it isn't.
humble.
No,
You just don't like to. You just don't like to draw attention to yourself.
I was trying to think of a good Christmas song that I could sing. Then.
That's a. Oh,
Mary, did you know?
okay. Wow.
Sing
That was.
Your baby boy.
This is what I
See,
get.
that brings
Yeah.
oomph to
Yeah.
it.
That's from your.
Yeah, that's deep
Now
down.
to be
Yeah.
My-
Blue Christmas.
That's your baby boy.
Okay. All right. We've just lost half our
All
audience.
right,
At least.
hey, we haven't
Yeah.
addressed how great the studios look.
Yeah.
Shout out to Doug, Ken, our whole crew.
Whole crew. That
for
is the whole.
putting
That's the
this-
whole crew.
that's
You just
really
did.
the whole
That was the
crew.
whole crew. You just shouted them out. Yeah.
This looks
Like,
incredible.
she acts like there's a lot more. Doug, Ken, everybody else that's involved. Nope, it's just Doug and Ken.
Yeah.
They do all of this around here for us.
I do agree with that, but Donald, there were some
Yeah,
other
okay.
there were some other elves that I have I had the idea. Of course, I'm like,
You had the
hey guys,
idea.
I have the greatest idea, and then they're like,
Idea person. One of
Okay.
those. Got an idea person. Now, Doug, you gotta make this happen. That's you know how
That's
that
pretty
goes?
much how it
Hey,
goes.
you know,
Yeah.
Emily, I'm gonna come.
Every
I always
husband
get on you.
understands that.
I'm gonna come to your defense right now, right? If you left it in charge of the Grinch to do
Right.
it,
Oh.
then there'd be nothing
Nothing.
here.
Just the black curtain.
So
We just be in
It's straight
space.
black.
Yeah,
we used
floating
to
around in
have,
space.
Jonah used to work in our department. Ever since Jonah's left,
Yeah.
no Christmas party for Flame Central.
Christmas is canceled this
we
year.
don't like everything. I completely wrapped Matt's door in Christmas green
Why did
Christmas.
you take it over?
I've been a little busy.
Oh, stop.
Because
You're always-
if
you're
you
always
didn't know,
complaining about-
folks, we are going to the Fiesta Bowl.
We are going.
Yes,
We- Okay, no, not only the Flames.
Right.
Like the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Alcova Mortgage hits the road,
That's
baby.
right.
We are-
Road trip.
I know. That's
You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
No, stop.
No, we are going on a road trip. We're going to the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
Met some of the committee last week on Friday during the press conference. This thing is basically a mini Super Bowl for
Yeah.
not only our team, but the Flame
They
Central podcast.
say that this is just historically, and people around the country know that this is like the best run bowl game, like the most like hospitality, all that stuff. Like this is as good as it
Yeah.
gets.
Oh, it's gonna be a big.
It's gonna be a blast, and we're gonna be there.
Yacht Talk's coming in with guns blazing.
And we
too.
hope. Here's the. Can we let's talk about the plan maybe a little bit. We're hoping to have 2 podcasts
Mhm.
while we're
We'll
on
have
the
this thing
ground
broken down. This game will be broken
Right.
down.
And
Yeah.
I think,
Broken down.
don't you think it's a good idea at one point maybe once we kind of figure out the lay of the land, letting people know where we're gonna podcast from or
Absolutely.
where we're gonna be.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
one night while we're there, if you want to come out, hang out, like let's do it.
Yes.
We haven't like set the full schedule yet, and whatever we do, it'll probably be the complete opposite.
Right.
But I'm thinking
Good
like maybe the
intentions going in.
29th, so then we lay the land on the 28th,
Yeah.
and we can like shoot out if you're coming out
Yeah.
to the Fiesta Bowl. Then like if we do it on the 29th, you can come out
Yeah.
and be a part of the show, and then we'll do another one maybe on the 31st.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the tentative plan.
New Year's Eve podcast.
Yeah, New Year's Eve podcast
Ring in the new year
Ring in the new
with
year.
us.
with the
It's-
Flame
it's
Central
like-
podcast.
Is Matt Warner is
Am I Dick Clark?
America's Ryan Seacrest.
Okay. Secret. Okay, you were a little more modern. I was going with Dick Clark.
I was gonna go with the
rockin'
Bravo
New Year's
guy.
Eve.
The Flames rocking New Year's
Yeah.
Eve, right?
I was
Yeah.
gonna go with
And-
the Bravo guy.
And you
What?
are gonna be you are gonna be the Mariah Carey that messes up the song.
All
Remember
I
she
want
messed up the
for
song?
Christmas
Remember she messed up the
is
song?
Yeah.
you.
Was she the one that was lip syncing or was
Yeah,
that somebody
she,
else?
she messed up the whole thing. It was awful.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I messed up the whole thing. Well,
Bottom line,
thank
we're
you so
excited.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very excited. We'll get you that schedule. So as to have a big department, school, athletic department wide meeting on Wednesday. So once we get a little
Sort
bit
out.
more details, there is some great things coming your way, social media wise, though, with the creative team. Incredible stuff.
Don't give it away. Don't
I'm
give it
not good.
away.
I'm not giving anything away. Another thing that you guys can be on the lookout for: the 4th annual Liberty Flames Gingerbread House Challenge is coming your way the week of Christmas. We
Right.
have an exclusive sit down.
Go
with-
mortgage power that too.
Too late. I'm sorry. It's too late. You can't have
Too
everything.
late.
Yeah.
You cannot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Later this week, look out for an exclusive sit-down interview with Jamie Chadwell. Some good stuff on Oregon and more there. But let's talk a little hoops before we
Let's do it.
talk any
Little
football.
hoopski.
Do it.
Little Hoopski, I heard the sideline seats were powered by Alcova
Yes,
Mortgage
they were.
this past weekend.
That was a good ball game. We were right there. Me and my 10-year-old Reese were right there in the mix of it, and thought the Flames had it. Oh,
yeah.
I mean
Fast start.
There was like
Give us a breakdown of the game.
What I saw was like that fast start where they're up like
23-6.
23-6, yeah. 23-6. So they went on this great run, the hit and everything. And then there was a stretch in the first half where it allowed them to get back in. And then there was another stretch in the second half where it was like two of those stretches of those, maybe 4 minutes or so, whatever it was, of both those where it was like, if you could have just held off a little bit better. But man, they've got a really good team. Both of them. And that team they played, Grand Canyon, I mean, that was an athletic basketball team.
Yeah, and they were coming off just a top 25 win in the previous game against San Diego State.
They're legit. But boy, the Flames defend. They do all the right things. I mean, Kyle Rode played out of his mind. Matheny's unbelievable. Yeah. That dude is awesome to watch.
Yeah.
And so
Liberty record 4,043 in attendance.
Really?
At Liberty Arena. Yeah.
Wow.
Set the
in
arena
a 2
record.
p.m. game.
And they had a great crowd.
I take that back. That was the old record.
Grand Canyon had a great crowd there.
No, it says attendance 4,052.
52, yeah, 43. Yeah, so that is the new record. 4,052.
Okay.
They set the new mark.
Great.
Yeah. Matt,
Grand Canyon was rocking too.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, you look at we said going into the season, if there's one area that you're a little concerned about Liberty, it's that size, right? And a little physicality. I think you've seen that show up at times in some of their losses. 7 blocks for Grand Canyon in that game. A little concerning. The other thing, Liberty doesn't get to the line a ton, and Grand Canyon outshot Liberty at the free throw line. 11 more free throws they took. Yeah. They made 78%, while Liberty only made 63.
That killed them.
That killed them, and that's one thing too that's going to be something to keep an eye on. You have one guy that gets to the line a bunch for Liberty, and that's Zach Cleveland, right? He is physical. He is that guy. Yeah. But when he gets there, he only shoots it about 52% from the stripe. So you got to improve that. If you're going to get there all the time, you need to improve it because, as you know, Joe, when you get guys that don't shoot it well from the stripe, then in late game situations, you're scared to give them the ball because a good team will just say, all right, earn it at the free throw line.
Right.
So that's a little bit troublesome. And then just Liberty kind of trending here of late, their last 4 games are their 4 lowest 3-point percentage games of the season. Saturday being their lowest. They only made 24%, 6 of 25 against Grand Canyon. If Liberty's going to be as good as we think they can be, they got to make more than 6 threes. Like that is what they do. Right. That is what they kind of build this whole team on, and they struggled there. Kyle Rode's been in a little bit of a shooting slump as well, only 25% from the field the last 4 games. So shooting-wise, ever since they went to Boca, which, listen, we all know, you go to Boca, you can get lost for a while. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot going on down there.
Boca.
It's Boca.
Shuffleboard team.
Right. You get caught up in the hustle and bustle of Boca. It happens. But they've struggled shooting the basketball really since then. Even against Mississippi Valley State 2 games ago, a team that you would expect them to just blow out of the water, one of the worst teams in the country, they struggled shooting on that night as well. So they have had a little bit of a hard time shooting the basketball here of late, which is concerning, but not really. I think we all know the type of players they are, that they're going to come out of it. They just couldn't quite. But I mean, they had every chance. Like you had the Joseph Vinzant put back that would have tied it.
It was a 1-footer.
Right there, rims off.
It was a 1-footer on
right
the
there.
rebound.
Shades of, I think it was the Wisconsin game in the NIT last year, kind of a similar deal. But like you had every chance, and I think that's probably the most frustrating part for Richie McKay, for this team. You don't leave this one saying, boy, you know what, but we played really well. We were right there. You probably leave this one saying,
we gave one away.
That was one we should have had.
Yeah.
Like that was a very winnable game.
Yeah,
and that's the frustrating part, especially at home.
The positive side with that, though, is what I did notice as it came down the stretch and it got really close was there were guys that were not afraid whatsoever in the moment to pull the trigger. I mean, Kyle Rode missed a shot, a 3, but he caught it and there was no hesitation to it. Colin Porter put up a shot in the paint that in crucial time that didn't make. Matheny, I think, took a shot like that didn't fall, but there wasn't you never got the feeling like, man, biggest crowd ever, packed house, top, this is a big game, and whoever got the ball and felt as if they had a good shot to take, they never hesitated.
Right.
And so if you have that attitude and you move forward with that attitude, eventually those will fall.
And I think to that point, maybe there were times over the past couple of years where if a guy catches it, it's like, am I the best shot or do I need to get it back to Darius?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like a little
So you're
should
gaining that confidence.
I be taking this shot in this moment?
Yeah.
And now, to your point, I think you're right. All those guys are confident.
Yeah.
Everyone has confidence in each other that anybody can be that guy if they get the open look.
100%.
And I think that it's important that they're getting these tough tests early in this non-conference schedule because it has been difficult to schedule these tougher teams. So then when you get down the stretch, we were like, okay, do they know how to handle this adversity when you look at other Flames teams where it has been difficult to schedule these really, really hard teams, and they're getting that early.
And I mean, this should be a game that's on the schedule every year, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, Grand Canyon, Liberty, kind of the similarities between the two schools, like West Coast, East Coast. Like, you should be playing this game, I think, every single year.
Grand Canyon, is that in Phoenix? Is that where it's at?
Yeah.
And so, is that a big university?
It's the largest Christian university.
I think Liberty
in
and Grand Canyon keep kind of trying to go back and forth. I think we passed them up again. So they had it for a while, and we passed them again. But yeah,
you could get a nice little rivalry going. Then they brought all those fans. Liberty wouldn't be afraid of their
fans. Are nuts.
They flexed it a little bit.
Yeah, their fans are nuts.
Yeah.
If you were watching videos like their pregame and all that stuff, they're nuts. Great.
So now
and
let's go over there.
They were a tournament team. Like Bryce Drew's doing a great job with them. Like I think let's just make it happen.
Bryce Drew's the dude who hit the shot with his dad in the
Valpo.
Yeah, they'll probably be listening to the podcast, so then they'll probably be like, you know what, that Matt Warner guy said that we should do this on the schedule.
He probably tunes in.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, he tunes in.
Yeah, of course.
I'm driving home. What am I going to do? I listen
Thanks, Bryce. Appreciate it.
Listen to a little country. So listen to rock. Maybe I'll listen to Joe Rogan's podcast.
No,
let's go Flame Central.
So another.
Isn't it Alcova Mortgage?
Is that Alcova Mortgage? It is. It is.
Okay.
We should catch up with Bryce while we're in Phoenix.
Yeah, come on, Bryce.
Another bright spot, Isaiah Warfield on the defensive end last year, who was going to fill his void. I think Joseph Van Zandt, especially on the boards, has been really impressive.
Joseph Van Zandt.
11 rebounds in this one. He's just been an animal on the boards, it seems like all season long.
6'3".
Yeah.
And he has had, I think it's 3 out of the last 4 games, he's had 11 rebounds in 3 of the last 4 games.
And 5 offensive boards, like that, those second chance points. I don't know what their second chance points were.
And we always say, boy, you'd love if you could get a little more offense from him. He gives you 5 points. If he could give you 7 a game, you would be thrilled. And he had it right there. That would have been, put him at 7, the putback. But defensively and rebounding, what he does is you just see this guy go into the bigs, and he just rises above everybody else. He is such a freak athlete.
You know a guy who gets a few minutes that I'm coming to like?
Who's that?
Gabe McKay.
He plays hard.
I mean, he plays with a chip on his shoulder.
He does.
And he plays a little bit angry.
Yeah.
And then he had a 4-point play.
Yeah.
Knocked down the 3. Man, he ain't scared. He's in there grinding, battling on the floor. And you can tell. You can tell his attitude. He's got, I bet that guy in practice is a menace.
Gabriel McKay is an interesting story because everyone just, says, oh, coach's kid, whatever, right? That's usually what happens to a coach's kid. It's like, okay. But you know what? He started at Trevecca Nazarene, which is NAIA. He didn't produce all that much there, to be honest. Yeah. He transferred here after a couple of years, didn't play much last year, but that kid has just worked his tail off. Like, you see how much better he is today
100%.
Than when he got here. Like, you're exactly right. He brings an edge. He brings the toughness. Now, you don't want to play him 22 minutes a game,
exactly.
But he gives you a spark off the bench. He did in the previous game against Mississippi Valley State. He scored 10 points and was the spark. Credit him. Like, he has worked like crazy to carve out a role on a really good team.
Correct.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the Players Lounge of Coach McKay, Gabriel McKay has come a full way since those days
showed
playing.
Video of him on the driveway.
In the driveway.
It was not pretty.
Full
He's come
uniform.
a long way. Yeah.
Full uniform.
That's outstanding.
Dribbling, no defender, but he,
Vast improvement. Yeah,
very.
Come a credit game.
Word on the court is that there might be a Christmas edition of the Players Lounge, but you'll just have to stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
When you look at the amount of shots everyone's taking, Kyle Rode 15, Zach Cleveland 7, Colin Porter 13, Kay Matheny 7. Is that the balance you want to see, or do you want Brody Peebles getting more shots up? Like, what would you change in terms of that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a huge problem with it, honestly. Like, Zach Cleveland's one guy that you would like to get more looks for just because of how efficient he's been when he's had it. He's shooting at 64% from the field.
Yeah.
So,
and Kyle Rode 9 threes. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
That's a lot of threes.
There's going to be nights where he hits 5 of them. This just wasn't one of those nights. So I don't have a huge problem with it. Zach Cleveland, again, maybe if he's converting at that kind of rate, you'd like to see him get a few more looks. But and Brody has those nights where he goes berserk and he scores 15, and then he has nights where he's not as involved in the offense. So Yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with it. I think bottom line is you got to make shots.
mean,
You can't go 6 to 25.
The only bad thing that I really saw
Yeah.
was when they got the ball down low, it's like the size thing, is like when you knew they were going to make it, and they got a lot of shots blocked.
Yeah.
You just never had that feeling of, oh, this is going to turn out well.
Yeah.
You know, just because of the size. So, I mean, I think, but I'll tell you what, the Zach Cleveland, his toughness and
No doubt.
and grinding to get to the basket and try to make the shots is right there. That was an athletic Grand Canyon team, and they were blocking shots, which then you got to adjust, obviously. And when you only make 6 threes, it's tough to win the ball.
Yeah, when you're making some threes and that
because
ball
you realize early,
around.
like, hey man, we're not gonna go down, pound it down low on these guys and score a bunch of buckets.
That's not their
right?
game. Yeah,
it's not their game, and they try to do it some early, and they're getting blocked. So it's like, okay, that we have to take jump shots and shoot a lot of threes, and they just didn't make it.
And you know it is. I mean, you play ball, Joe. Like, it's not always just the number of blocked shots. It's just the effect of the shot blocker that sometimes changes things as much as actually blocking the shot.
Yeah.
And it can affect you when you get into the paint, the decisions you make, how you go about trying to score it, just because you're always aware of that. So you get 7 blocks for Grand Canyon. There were other shots that were affected just because of that don't show up in the block.
And he did this, and I think if he could do this more, he'd be more effective with it. Is Colin Porter such a good distributor of the basketball, right? And he goes into the lane with the mindset of that he's going to distribute. But a couple times is like they backed off of him, thinking he's going to distribute, and he pulled up and shot and made just that little very mid-range jump shot. If he can knock those down on a consistent base and shoot more of those and make more of those, and now they have to come out and defend him, that'll open up the other stuff. But I think when he gets in there, he's thinking pass first. Yeah. And then shots. So if he starts knocking a few more, that'll open some things up for him too. Underneath.
Up next for the Flames on Wednesday the 13th, they host
Tennessee State.
Okay.
It's actually a doubleheader. I didn't even realize this till yesterday. The women play first, the men play second. So it'll be it's scheduled for an 8 o'clock start. Might end up being a little bit later than that.
Oh, wow.
But Tennessee State's pretty good. They just played Lipscomb yesterday, gave them all they wanted, nearly won that game. And they've got some size as well. So that will be, I think, a good test for Liberty on Wednesday.
And then they will continue to stay home on Saturday.
St. Andrews, I believe.
St. Andrews.
Beautiful course. The old course is beautiful.
The old course,
You've been there, Joe?
Yeah, right. The hotel hole right on 18. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, nice of them to come over the pond. Yeah.
Anyways, so what else do we have? We want to preview. I don't want to, we have so much content to get to. We're not going to have a podcast on Christmas, by the way. We're just going to let everyone, understand. If you're asking Santa for a Flame Central podcast on Christmas morning,
celebrate
you ain't getting it.
the birth of our
do
Savior.
people want to open up a Flame Central podcast Christmas morning? I don't know.
It's your present under the tree.
Do they? Yeah.
But the best part about Christmas is being all nice and cozy and a brand new home. And if you're looking for one, boy, I have a guy for you.
Wow, what a lead in. Yes, for your, you know what? You can get your wife, your husband a better Christmas party. Just buy the house. Just buy a house.
It's like when those commercials where they walk down the driveway and, here's the Lexus with the big bow on it. Didn't tell you, I just spent 40 grand, but Merry Christmas. Yeah, cool. Just do it with a house.
I want to find a new Lexus that only costs 40 grand.
I know, me too.
You can tell I have no idea. Yeah.
Right?
You tell where I shop for my cars. Yeah.
If you are looking to purchase or refinance, great deal for alumni and Liberty employees. Go to alcova.com/Liberty. Get the whole deal right there. You can save up to $5,000 towards your closing costs. 1% of whatever your loan amount is up to $5,000. So it's just for Liberty employees and alumni. And we do it in all states, all across, where if you're Liberty and you live in California, wherever it may be, we'll be able to close those loans. We partner with Churchill Mortgage for any loans that we're not licensed in. And so we'll do a great job taking great care of you. Go to alcova.com/Liberty.
Easy.
Easy.
Oh, I just lost my train of thought.
Almost
too easy. So yeah, if you're in Arizona,
yes,
you can hook them up out there.
We're in Arizona. Yeah. We're going to go to Arizona for you. And that is real cash is what I was going to say.
Yeah,
real cash.
Real cash.
Not Monopoly money, what you're playing with. No. Speaking of Christmas time, we went to Christmas Town in Busch Gardens.
Oh, that's good. I've been there.
The worst experience of my life.
Oh, shocker.
I'm just saying, I don't know what the capacity is. I was trying to look it up online, but their internet wasn't working because there was probably 400,000 people there. Oh my
it's
gosh.
too crowded.
Do not. Oh yeah. Like you could not. You were shoulder to shoulder everywhere you went. Worst decision. Saturday, nice weather. Horrible decision. So
Who are
if
you
you're
with?
looking to do that, go on a Monday.
You went during the week. You with Jason?
Jason, the whole fam. Jason, my sister, mom,
Oh, everybody.
my brother-in-law, Augie, Addie. Addie had a 103
Matt,
fever.
Could you imagine that?
No, I can't.
Horrible.
Oh.
We just, I wish we would have just gone back to the hotel because they had a little arcade there. And yeah, it was. I'm just saying, my only advice to you is if you're going to Christmas Town, do not go on a Saturday.
Yeah, don't go on Saturday.
Don't go on a
great.
Saturday.
Busch Gardens during the week's great.
Yeah, during the week.
They do a little something downtown for Christmas too. The Christmas lights. My wife, we didn't go
Lynchburg,
yet.
here.
I didn't know I was allowed
it's
to
great,
announce
yeah.
anything
It's
with like Lynchburg downtown. Am I allowed to?
Why not?
Well, last time I said that the whole Christmas thing that was going on downtown, Matt was like, "What are you getting paid by them?" What? I'm saying the Christmas lights downtown, they spent like $150,000.
They did.
It's like legit downtown
Matt likes
Lynchburg.
taking the family. Matt, have you done this yet? Go to the Elks home in Bedford. Have you driven through the
No,
Elks home?
I've heard about that.
You need to take the
What is
family.
it?
Go take the family.
Yeah.
You get a little car. Get in your car. You never had to get out of the
We
car.
have one
Emily.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go to the. You got a car.
Yeah, we got a car.
It may not be a $40,000
It's not a
Lexus, but he's got a car,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put the family in there,
Okay.
and then go down to Bedford and go to the Elks home, and then you just drive through the whole
Okay.
thing, and it's
What
great.
is it?
It's lights, Christmas lights, and it's big Santas, and it's
Oh, I
it's
want to
great.
do
It's
that.
great. It's
Yeah.
great. It doesn't take
Emily will
long.
be back here complaining about it next week.
Okay.
I am
Emily,
not, I'm
Emily,
just
listen,
warning
listen.
other families
Yeah.
to not, go through the misery that we did.
Emily, now
We went
listen.
on one ride and saw one show in 7.5 hours.
Well, it's busy this time of year.
It's Christmas.
It's the hustle. Go to Roanoke. There's a place in Roanoke that's got great. We go there every year.
I just
what
like
has this
to
show turned into?
I just want to sit
It's
in
our
my
Christmas
car.
special.
It's like,
I
hey.
want to sit in my car and see all the Christmas lights.
there
So
you go.
wherever I
Go to
need
the
to
Elks
go,
home.
that's where I want to
Yeah,
go.
go there. Let's talk football.
Okay, let's talk
Yeah.
a little football. If didn't know, Fiesta Bowl.
Fiesta Bowl, big
Liberty, Oregon. I wrote down a rant that I was going to do on today's show because there's this writer that I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
so
You saw
annoyed
that?
with.
What's
The
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 Oregon
second
writer.
article.
He was
Second
two articles.
article.
This guy's smart because here's why. His articles are garbage. So don't look for him.
Is it Bill Orm? Is
Yes.
Yes.
But he's smart
that guy-
because did you see his second
I wanna
article?
meet that guy.
Yeah, we might get to. There's
Let's have him on
there's
the
a few
show.
Flames fans that would like to meet
I
him
wanna
too.
meet
and
that guy.
Yeah.
At the end of one of his second article, he said, "I can't wait to meet all of you Flames fans,
Yes.
all 9 of you."
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
is
like,
brilliant in
yes,
this. Not that his
yeah.
articles are any good, but he's brilliant in that it's just clickbait. He knows
Yeah.
all these Liberty people are going to be clicking and reading my article if I just
Correct.
keep trashing their school.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so he's just
Very
keeps
genius.
He really is a
turning
smart
them out.
one.
Just keeps
Do you know
turning
what?
them out.
Yeah, here's, and I don't, you know how much I love the Liberty
I
fans,
know.
right? You know, I'm
You can't.
a man of the people, for
Right.
the people, with the people.
Can't be
Right? Let's show
sensitive.
you out,
Can't be
right?
sensitive.
Right? But the Liberty fans got to be careful because they take the bait. Right?
They do.
They take.
Yeah,
They,
you
you
can't do
don't
that.
take it.
You-
We're
here's
gonna
the
be.
thing.
I mean,
we're-
we are
we're
playing
gonna
a
love this guy.
Heisman. Can't
This guy's gonna
Right.
be great. Bill Orm, that's my guy.
why?
I can't wait to meet Bill.
My thing is just like you should have won
I mean, Bill-
your conference championship.
Hey.
You had 2 opportunities to beat
Hey, see,
Washington,
this
and
is
you
why it's
dropped the
great.
ball.
He gets Emily
Exactly.
You dropped.
tweet storm.
Yeah.
I'm
This
not,
guy-
it's not him. It's
Angry
not him.
tweeting.
I
I'm
sent Bill a
saying-
message.
Did you really?
I did. I sent a message. I said, Bill, I'd love to meet you down the ball game. I'd love to meet Bill.
No,
We have a great time. But the
I
guy's
am
great to
fine.
hang out
It
with.
really isn't Bill. It's really Oregon just being like, oh, we're
What?
playing such a crappy team.
what would
Then
you-
win your conference championship.
No,
then you
we
don't
don't-
have to play
No,
us.
no,
Because then you're playing for a
no.
national championship. You guys dropped the ball. And I'm sorry, you should beat the Flames. When did Oregon football come into existence?
Wow.
Steve Prefontaine. Duh. He's the one that gave you this Nike school.
Oh my
Is there
goodness.
anything
Don't
else?
get me started on.
Is this how you treated people at Busch Gardens? Is this
Yes.
Is this how you were acting?
I'm
there?
just saying.
I got a feeling
Like,
we're
Oregon's
getting a
so
little
upset.
taste of Busch
Yes.
Gardens right
Yes.
now.
No.
Am I
Some
right?
I'm
concession
just saying
stand
Oregon
employee
is
is
like
just
so
like,
mad.
I asked
Thanks for
for
coming.
ketchup with my hot
Oh,
dog.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a hot dog
Yeah,
because
see,
you had to
there
wait
we
in
go.
line for 2
Oh,
hours.
boy. Yeah.
I'm just saying, of course Oregon should win this game. When did their football program come into existence?
Listen,
We've been an
Emily,
FBS
Emily,
school.
relax.
Okay, y'all talk about Oregon then.
Relax. Go ahead, Matt. You want to leave? We're losing our
see,
sleep.
we're knocking
forced
stuff
our lives.
over.
Yeah, the
We
Christmas
lost our
spirit
se-
is gone.
Yeah, I know, Matt.
Oh,
Reel
boy.
this thing in, Matt. Please, or do you want me to reel?
Here's-
I
Whatever
just get fired up. At,
Somebody
Here's
like,
reel
all
it in.
I'm saying.
if you're an idiot, I don't like you.
Here's all I'm saying.
Don't call. That's not
I'm not
fair.
calling
You know what?
anyone
You know what we're
specific
missing?
an
What we're
idiot.
missing? There we go. Have a little joy. Have a little joy in your life, Em. That's what we're missing.
I had to wear the Mary sweatshirt.
Yeah, right. Here's what I.
Joy to the world.
Okay, we got to rein it in. I'm sorry.
All I would
that was
say
my rant.
is
It was good, Rand.
just enjoy this.
Yes.
Like number one,
So good, Andy.
first I see, people, all SMU people, Liberty people, like number one, Liberty won. We're in.
We're in.
We made it. We have nothing to. There's no.
Right.
There's
You don't
no
need to
slight.
explain yourself.
There's no slight.
Yeah.
I know everybody thought there for a while. Oh, we're gonna get left out. They're gonna do us wrong. There was no slight.
No slide.
We earned our way here. We're in the big game.
It's the
We're
big game.
playing the big name opponent.
It's the big name.
Enjoy the heck out of it.
Enjoy it.
Don't take this stuff personal.
Why take
You know
it
what?
personal?
You're
Go
like
prove
a
it on the
cheerleader.
field.
Real
You know what?
American
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to do this. You don't have to get all upset.
Why get upset?
Enjoy this.
Enjoy it.
Love it. This is
Love
like
it.
how often is Liberty's never had this opportunity. Don't look for all the slights.
Yeah, no, and here,
Don't look to
I'm
be offended.
usually
Don't
really
look to be
positive.
offended. That's my thing. Don't look to be
don't
offended.
look to be offended because here's the bottom line. Liberty's been in FBS for 5 years. Okay?
5 years.
They've climbed the ladder like this, and they'll only continue to get better.
Right.
When it's your first rodeo with the big dogs, guess what?
Yeah.
You're going to take some heat, right? It's fair. It's natural. We're from Lynchburg, Virginia, right? In these big schools.
Not where they make whiskey in Tennessee.
Not where they make
This
whiskey
is
in Tennessee.
Virginia.
We're from Lynchburg, Virginia, okay? And it's very understandable that's going to happen because guess what? Here's the other thing too with these big schools is somebody's got to play the G5.
Yeah.
Somebody would have had to play Tulane. Somebody would have had to play SMU. Somebody would have had to play Liberty. All the big dogs, they wanted to play Penn State or Ole Miss.
They should have won their
or
conference
somebody
championship.
right, but out of those people that didn't, somebody's going to get picked, and then they're always going to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So the best thing that you can go to do is go out, have a great time, and the football team itself show up and compete your butt off and have an opportunity to be in the football game and earn some respect.
Yeah.
And earn that respect earn the respect by how we act while we're out there and have a good time.
That's why I act that
right?
way now.
And then earn the respect on how you play on the football field. You do that, the rest will take care of itself.
And if you're a fan, and I realize not everybody can make it, it's Phoenix. That is tough for people in Lynchburg. But if you are a fan that can make it out there, that's important
all
too.
9 of you.
Because that's important too, because you show then to disprove his point that this isn't just some little school with no fan base. You continue to show that we travel well, which matters when it comes to bowl games.
It
And
does,
people are
yeah.
looking in the future like, okay, how did they travel? What's their fan base? How many people did they bring? Like those things matter going forward as well. So if you can be there, show out, support this team. And like you said, hopefully they prove it on the field and have a great performance. But yeah, there are steps to this thing. This was step 1. You got there.
Yeah.
The next step is you earn some credibility on the field against the big name opponent. And then you start to continue to expand that Liberty brand. So the next time you're in this situation, some joker can't write an article like that because everybody
even
knows
care
who
about
Liberty
the
is.
article.
Oh, you care, Emily Austin. After
no.
that rant, I'm pretty
No.
confident.
I think
When-
Bill
Yeah.
Arm's chuckling
I
right
think
now.
he's
No,
got
Bill-
exactly
Bill-
what he
I'm gonna
wanted.
send Bill a message.
He got
Listen to
exactly
Flames
what
Central
he wanted.
Podcast,
No.
Power About
Yeah.
Gilmore.
No, Bill
You'll get a
Bill
little
is a
chuckle.
genius because he did his sponsorship and ads to reach Lynchburg. Like it shows up when you're
knows
scrolling
what he's doing.
because it's ad and
Attaboy,
sponsor.
Bill.
Like
Attaboy,
it's
Billy.
smart. It's smart
It is
business.
smart.
I know exactly. Like there
Ruffle
is
your
no
feathers a little
there
bit.
is no
Yeah.
such thing as real journalism anymore. I understand that. Like I understand that you're not going to
Well,
talk
he's a
about.
columnist. I think that is different.
Yeah.
He's not
Well,
like-
whatever. The organic.
Hey, did
whatever.
I read his article on the guy who got his violin stolen? It was
Missed that one.
great.
Wait a minute. Joe's been reading Bill for years.
No, I just
I
picked up on
happen
that.
to subscribe to the Oregonian.
No,
Am I
I
the
just-
only one?
Is that how you say it? Because
don't
I
know.
was
Is
like,
it?
the
I
I was reading that article, right? And then I said, I like this guy, Bill. What else this guy got, right? And so-
Somebody stole my world's smallest violin.
So Mr. Frazier's got like really prized violins and he plays at all these shows and everything, right? He went to go play at a show at some park, whatever it might be. And while he was there, they stole everything out of his car, including his prized violins. And he's like, what the heck's going on here? And
What
so,
is going
Better
on
call
here?
Bill.
and so anyways, he got his violins. He got his violins back. They got sold some pawn shop somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
see,
And they tracked it
see,
down.
this guy's
It was
not
a
all bad.
great feel-good story.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh,
and
he writes feel good. Okay.
yeah, so it's a great feel-good story about Mr. Frazier and his violin. And so then at the end of it, there's a video, and it was Bill playing his violin. Unbelievable. I really enjoyed it. So
This is
Bill Arm.
This is unbelievable.
Bill Arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like your article.
Should we talk about football? I have no idea what's going on. I've completely lost
You know what,
it.
Bill? You know what Mr. Fraser would say? Crime River play. What's the word? Playing
The world's smallest violin. Am I on mute?
Yeah.
Like I just like think between the two of you, I'm on mute.
Yeah,
Because I've already said
back
that
to
5
football.
minutes
Let's
ago.
talk about the ball game.
Yeah, what do you got for me?
Well, now we're going to dive a lot deeper into the numbers once we get out there, and even possibly our next week's podcast as well. But
Maybe we'll get Bill on the show. I'll reach out to Bill.
You should.
I'll reach out to Bill.
Reached out to
Honestly,
Bill.
Well,
Did he respond?
Bill,
Not yet. I
you
mean,
have 4 followers.
maybe
I
he
doubt
did.
he's going to reach out back.
Listen to that.
I got
See,
it.
she's just taking shots at everybody. This
She took
is
shots
a
at-
her
she-
problem. This isn't anybody else's problem.
It's me. It's
We
not
saw
you.
Bo Nix make the finalist for the Heisman.
Yeah.
So you saw that, didn't quite get it, but 44 points per game this offense. And I think when we come down to like just kind of the 10,000 foot view, is that what it is? The big matchups in this game, I think, don't you feel like it's just slowing down this offense is the biggest concern for Liberty going in. 44 points per game. They run it at almost 6 yards a carry. They throw it for almost 345 yards per game. Oh, by the way, if that's not bad enough, they convert 30% of their third downs, and they've only given up 5 sacks on the year.
Stop it.
They've been sacked 5 times
Stop
on the
it.
year. What do you do with that? That's going to be a challenge.
You know, I don't want to give up all my material
Right.
yet, but obviously they're going to be extremely hard to stop.
Yeah.
Okay. And Liberty defensively doesn't have a great history against really good offensive teams this year of being able to stop them.
Yeah.
And then you look at the conference championship game, what Diego Pavia did, and then they bring in the freshman backup quarterback and what he was able to do.
Yeah.
However, the silver lining in this is what does Liberty defense have a history of doing?
Great turnover.
Creating turnovers and
It's the only
creating
way you're winning,
turnovers
yeah.
at opportune times.
Yeah.
And so that is, I think, what Oregon's going to score.
Yeah.
And they're going to probably score a lot of points. I think a big part of this is going to be, well, obviously, Liberty, can they slow the game down? Okay, when they have the ball offensively, move the ball offensively with still being able to take a lot of time off the play clock. Can they slow the game down? They have the offensive weapons to score points themselves. But I think most importantly is going to be, can the defense cause a turnover or do something at an opportune time like they've done throughout the season in order to put themselves in a position to give themselves a chance to win? Because this is going to be, if Liberty wants any chance at all in this football game, this is going to be a high-scoring ball game.
Well, I initially thought that as well, but
tell me why it wouldn't be.
Well, I think the only reason it might
know.
not be, like, I guess it depends on what you call high scoring, like in the high 40s, 50s.
Yeah,
because I think if Liberty, their best chance maybe, as you said, slowing it down, grinding it out on the ground, holding the football, keeping the clock. You know what I mean? Like we saw. Remember how we saw with Hugh Freeze in the past? There would be games where, like from the first drive, you're letting that play clock get down to 5.
Yeah.
And just eating up clock. Like I could see that type
That's a really good point.
of approach
You
from
have
Liberty.
to convert first
You still
downs.
have to convert.
You
You still have to convert.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be a high scoring if we allowed it to be. But I'd say maybe Liberty's best shot is slowing it down to where you're winning a game 35-32 as opposed to 49-47. You know what I mean? Like that could be one area where if Liberty can do that, but like you said, you've got to be able to move the chains.
I am a little nervous. I think it's going to be really high scoring.
Yeah, and
too,
I'm
at
also
the end of the day.
the other part of this that I think is worrisome is
It'll be a shootout.
okay. Let's say they're going to score. Oregon's going to score. Well, how easy is it?
Right.
Like, how long does it take?
Well,
right?
I
If
mean, it took
if
22 seconds against New Mexico State, so I'm assuming that it's going to be pretty quick.
if it's like, man, we're going to make them move the ball, play decent red zone defense, do some things where it slows them down some, and then we're slowing it down, that's going to give you a better shot. Yeah. But if it's like ridiculously easy and and they're scoring easily, quickly, that's going to be a problem.
And Liberty's defense has had pretty good stretches where they had done a good job basically eliminating the big play this year.
Yeah.
Where they weren't dominant,
correct.
but they're keeping things in front of them.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen some of that.
This is going to be
Well, I think that was because of injury. I think some guys were banged up later in the year, and they were able to, stop those big plays whenever everyone was healthy. So the good news is, I think this time you have a month really to get healthy. I think that'll help.
The scary part just in general is you're putting one of the best quarterbacks back there.
Why is Bo
Most
Nix playing?
accurate.
Who's one
Why
of
is he playing?
the most veteran quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
And they've allowed 5 sacks, and Liberty doesn't pressure the quarterback all that well. You're just going to let him sit back there and make decisions? Like, that's the scary part to me.
Yeah.
So
If you
what
give
we
him that
need
kind
to
of time.
do, what we need to do, our part is find who his agent is and look up and dig up the numbers of how often you get hurt.
Well, listen,
you're
they've given up
playing in
5
the
sacks all season. He may not get a grass stain on his jersey. Like, he's probably going in thinking, like,
That's probably
I may
true.
not get touched.
Yeah.
He doesn't get sacked.
Yeah.
Like, they do such a good job
Matt,
protecting
you're
him.
doing the complete opposite of what I just
Yeah,
said.
he wants.
No, like, I'm just.
We need him
right.
to be like, you know what? There's a chance.
I wonder why.
Look at
he's
Aaron
playing.
Rodgers. Look at how
Why
he
is he
tore his
playing?
Achilles.
Yeah. I mean, I
Why
guess
is
he went, I don't know.
Is it part? I wonder if it's part like an NIL deal or something where you had to agree to play in the bowl game or maybe something
Maybe
like
just,
that.
I mean, he lost his last. You want to lose your last start? Like, maybe he just wants
but
to end
all
on a
these
better
dudes-
note.
I know you're going to the NFL though. Who cares
Yeah.
if you lose your last
Yeah,
start?
I don't know.
Well, I sent a message to Bill.
To Bo?
So
Next?
listen,
to Bill.
Listen,
Yeah.
you
He's already
stay
sent
away
one.
from Bill.
I,
Let
you
me
call
handle
him
Bill.
Bo because in Bill Orem, I didn't. I was like, is that a
Why? Why are you
nickname?
doing
I thought you
that?
sent to
No,
Bo next.
I'm
yeah.
kidding. No, I'm not texting Bo.
Why
I
are
sent a
you-
message
Why
to
are you
Bill.
doing that? I'm taking care of Bill.
Great. Now we seem desperate.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Oh,
Okay.
Should I just message
I'm
him
gonna
too?
throw something out there that I've heard and
Oh,
see what you guys
no.
think.
This scares me.
What would your thought be on a group of 5 national championship?
Oh, that's interesting. It's,
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we get that anyway. I don't know if you guys saw the proposal from the head of the NCAA, where it's kind of almost like creating a line in the sand where he would like to push it where schools can actually pay their athletes directly and then NIL on top of that, which could very well create that line between the top division or whatever for schools that can afford to do that sort of thing and everybody else. And if that happens, then yeah, I could see that very well happening where the everybody else, it's almost like FBS, FCS, you get kind of a middle tier, whatever you want to call it, where
Everybody
that
else
could be.
championship? That has
The
a ring
everybody
to
else
it.
championship.
The everybody else championship.
So that could very well happen.
Yeah.
The challenge is always like, I mean, no group of 5 team is going to turn down a Fiesta Bowl, right? To do some other little group of 5
Yeah.
championship.
Right.
So then it becomes like, how would all that work out? Is it it couldn't be the ones that didn't make it, because then that's not really a national championship, because Liberty's are, you know what I mean? If you played like SMU and
Right.
Toledo or somebody like that, like, well, that's not really a national championship because Liberty's the best team and they're
Right.
playing. So you'd have to
I think you would just
sort
keep
everything
Liberty,
out,
Yeah.
change the schedule, and then figure out how many games. Yeah, there would be a lot to do. But in theory, it's a good idea. What I don't like is almost eliminating the opportunity for a G5 team to compete for either a national championship in the expanded playoff, or in this current format, compete on the biggest stage of college football. That's what I wouldn't like.
Yeah.
Is then
but
to-
I mean,
is
the
it to
chance
just
of,
be like,
even with the
Okay, go do your own little thing,
Right.
group of 5. The big boys are playing over here. I still want to see a
Yeah.
representative from what is now the G5 playing on the biggest stage. That's all I want.
As I also think too that there's a certain group of teams that are within the G5 that have the capability due to the transfer portal
that is very
and the
very
players
good
that they
point.
can get that can have an opportunity to compete at the highest level. Now,
yeah.
it's sort of like, college basketball. So the NCAA tournament, right? You'll get those Cinderella teams that you don't know about, but they have the talent level, they have the coaching in order to make a really deep run in the playoffs, right?
I think
The-
basketball's
the-
a little bit different
It's a
than
little bit
football
different,
in terms
but
of that.
this sort of the same concept though is that I think with the transfer portal now that you're going to have a small group of G5 teams that are going to be able to compete with NIL and all
Yeah.
the money wise with things, and then those teams could have an opportunity. They may never win it all,
Right.
right? They may never beat Georgia, Alabama, but boy, how exciting it would be if you had a 5 seed Michigan play a 12 seed Liberty, and Liberty could win that game.
Right.
Mm.
And
that will eventually happen.
Right. Don't you think, like, if they keep this format for like the next 5 years,
Yeah.
1 year at least, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Like
gonna
somebody's
upset.
going to
Yeah,
do it. You
I
know?
agree.
So and to your point, I think that's the draw of the NCAA tournament and why people
Yeah.
love it. And I think that will just continue to like draw fans in for the college football playoff.
And
as
within
well.
the transfer portal, when the portal opens, if you go back and you take a team like Liberty and said, hey, we got into the college football playoffs, we upset a Michigan, right? That is so much more attractive to some of the kids that are coming from the portal. So you're going to get a more high quality.
Well,
player.
the portal is crazy. Even without any of those changes, it will be interesting moving forward in the next couple weeks. Okay, so we got to get. Do we have mailbag today?
We do have one kind of mailbag. It's more of a comment than anything. It's from our buddy Brent, and I have not checked this. I have not double checked this.
We still sending mugs to these people.
The post office, they ran out of boxes.
Gosh.
They ran out of the boxes,
right now.
so they've ordered more. They've ordered more boxes.
Of the people.
I have a few people on the list
with the people
that I'm ready to send them to.
Don't you let the people down.
The post office has to get more boxes in. Once that happens, I'll send them out. But Brent sent us an interesting comment, and I don't know if this is true, but I assume Brent knows what he's talking about. He said, our crack stat group can check this out. He says, in Pac-12 bowl history, did you know that Pac-12 teams, which won't exist after this year, Pac-12 teams who lost in the conference championship game, Oregon, and played in bowl games since 2011 are 0-11 in their bowl games?
Get out of here.
That's what he says.
What?
Again, have not checked the numbers on that.
We need to ask Bill.
But
Brent
has. I trust Brent. I mean, seems like a great guy from the,
That's a
he's
great
a great guy,
Brent,
so I trust him.
If that's true, great stuff.
Yeah.
Question about the Pac-12 with it not being in existence. Is it now Power 4?
What?
Because who are the Power 5 conferences?
Oh.
Yeah,
There's only 4.
I mean, yeah.
We were trying to discuss that.
That's why,
and I really had to hold out and not text you, but do out in the group chat, like in Busch Gardens when I was waiting in line.
Here we go again.
Here we go.
I was like, wait a second. Is there... what is it? It's Power 4. That just doesn't even
Getting
sound
ready to be
right.
the Power 2.
Last thing for me, and then you can
Yeah.
wrap it up if you want. I just want to thank all of our viewers and listeners for that have been tuning into the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage, all football season.
For all your personal finances.
That's right. So I was crunching some numbers last week. You know,
Brent numbers.
It was like, oh,
he's a number cruncher.
right. It's like, oh, okay. You know how many listeners are we having? Yada yada. Like. On the audio side, our podcast grew by more than 25% year over year. So there you go. That's good. But here's the crazy number. And this is where it blew my mind. Joe, I've not told you this yet.
No, this is new information.
Tell this to Alcova.
Yes, the folks
On YouTube, which we started putting the show on YouTube just this year.
The YouTube.
Right? On YouTube, just in September 1st, through last show, people have tuned in for a total of 3,082 hours.
Whoa.
Or the equivalent of 128 days that people have tuned in to the Flame Central podcast on
Powered by
YouTube.
Alcova Mortgage.
Then let's get some purchase and refis going.
So I'm glad that people like the show.
I don't
that people
know
are
why
tuning
you don't
in.
have anything else better to do.
Yeah, thank you. That blew my mind. That blew my mind when I heard that.
We were putting together
thanks to everybody
numbers
for tuning
because
in.
I think that they're trying to do budget cuts, and like Matt and I would be the first to go.
Hey, see, we're doing
job
something good
security.
here. Yeah.
Hold on.
Job security.
Yeah. So that's really cool that people enjoy the show that much, and we hear from so many people when we're out and about. Hopefully, we'll hear from a lot of folks out at the bowl game.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the guys that we ran into at the last football game was like, "You tried to take my milkshake at what's the ice cream place at what's the Mr. Goodies?" He's like, "You tried to take my milkshake at Mr. Goodies this past summer. I didn't want to bother you, but you went up and tried to take." I'm like, "I'm sorry. I apologize."
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, sorry about that.
The
But yeah,
Grinch.
looking forward to seeing everybody out at the bowl game. It's going to be fun.
I mean,
It's going to be a lot of fun, guys.
We're going to get a lot of activity at these bowl games, doing a couple podcasts out there. I mean, I think our ratings are
through the roof.
If you have not booked a flight, we heard some people are even flying into Vegas and then doing the 4-hour drive down.
That might be your best bet.
There's like Spirit flights for $100. So whatever you got to do, try to get to Phoenix or to Glensdale, whatever.
You can stay in Joe's room if you need to.
Stay in my room.
If you need a place to stay. Yeah.
For the people.
Yeah.
Thanks
Those
so
aren't
much
pillows.
for listening and watching. Be sure to check out all of our Christmas content coming out on all the Liberty platforms. For Joe and Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you next time.